Hi, today we have started with intermediate batch, and intermediate is another level. This year in 2023, did we see a passage on waste management? Segregation of waste at source is rare. Remember that passage? A passage similar to that was asked earlier. We can at times look at some common themes and reach a conclusion from those common themes as to, do we already understand this kind of topic? Are we familiar with this topic? What more we need to know? So I'm going to take that passage, which is right here on the screen. If you like, you can pause the video and give it a read. Other than this, I want you to remember a few things. And those few things are, when you're writing CSAT paper, think like a bureaucrat. How will a bureaucrat think like? Like a troublemaker or a troubleshooter? Given that option to you, what would you prefer to be called? A troubleshooter or a troublemaker? Troubleshooter. A troubleshooter is someone who finds solutions, who is solution-minded, solution-oriented. More than looking at what are the things responsible for that problem, that person also focuses on what are the possible solutions to this problem. Keep that in mind. Second bureaucratic aptitude required for this examination is to think positively. And when you feel positive about representing a government body or bureaucracy, Indian bureaucracy, you feel more resourceful and confident as a result of that kind of mindset. So remain solution-oriented, remain positive, and also optimistic in your approach. If there is an option that is pessimistic or says no solution possible, will you choose that as your answer? Perhaps not. Let's look at a similar passage to 2023's passage on segregation of waste. Here's the passage on the screen. Pause the video, give it a read, and think of, in the context of India, think of the critical message of the passage on your own. When you read a passage, what kind of things you basically are looking for? What is this passage about? Why has this passage been written? And if the why includes a solution, a problem, let's say, if the why includes a problem, how can that problem be solved? In this passage, perhaps, you may not read how. That how has to be inferred on your own. And that is why the question direction suggests, look for something that will reflect the critical message in the best way. So when you have read this passage, let's suppose you have read this at the count of 5, I come back to this discussion. Let's suppose I disappear from the screen, you pause the screen, you're reading it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. If you read this passage, the passage started with solid waste management. And in the second line of the passage, you were directed to think about, other than solid, also perhaps, let's say, liquid waste management, because you read words like drain, sewerage. Did you notice that? Did you notice the second line said something like, however, strong indication of another point. However, there is another aspect that is not well understood. When the writer themselves have indicated to you, when the authors indicate to you that something is not well understood. That something is not well understood. The author has clearly given you this is the problem. And the problem is here. What happens when unscientific solid waste management combines with, follow the word, combines with poor drainage and dumping of untreated sewage into drains? Whatever is written afterwards is a result of this. But what you don't get in the passage is how. You have to think about that how on your own. Perhaps your general knowledge or your common sense. And if none of these work for you right now, then look at the options. Yes, that's the source of this passage. Look at the options. What do you understand when I once again remind you that you have to think positively and feel positive about bureaucracy, government, being resourceful? Any option that gives you a poor reflection in government and bureaucracy perhaps doesn't feel like a good option or a comfortable option to choose as having that right kind of bureaucratic mindset. So if I say that, you have to avoid choosing two options here. Second and fourth option. And if you do that, you are left with two more options. First and third. Between first and third, first option perhaps gives you a fact. In India, the drainage networks are not separate for sewage and stormwater. This is a fact that you're looking at. Can you provide a solution to that fact? Where's the solution? Option 3, C. Should be suggestion and solution. This will solve the problem. If you have more questions related to this passage, if you like this video, learn something from it, do let me know. All the best.